Students, once again, so we'll continue the growth and development of toddler, and now we will discuss about the psychosexual development. So we know that the psychosexual development is put forward by Sigmund Freud, and he says that there are certain areas of sensory pleasure for the individual, and it changes from one zone to another zone according to the child's developmental ages. And in infancy we have seen that it is a stage of oral development, so that the child gets pleasure by doing the oral activities. Like initially in the first 6 months the child will be sucking and swallowing. Later in the last 6 months, the child, once the child's teeth begins to appear or begin to erupt, the child will be becoming in an oral aggressive stage. So in toddler period, the stage of development in psychosexual development is the anal stage. So this theory is already we have discussed in detail in the previous classes, what is happening in anal stage. So during this time we know that the sphincter control will be attaining, especially urethral sphincter control will be attaining by 2 years, and also the anal sphincter control will be attained by the same age. So this will be the ideal stage or time for toilet training also, and they will be enjoying the defecation, withholding and propelling the fecal matter and the urine. So this is the anal stage of this. And one more thing, psychosexual. So sexuality during the toddler period. Here individuals care gender identity, by which one identifies a male or a female occurs during this toddler period. So female child will be interested to get dressed like a girl or a lady. Like they will be trying to wear the shawl, churidar or sari or some articles, and they will be interested to put bindis and other makeups. These all things they will be enjoying. So they know that what is their gender identity. Boys identifies that they are a boy, girls identifies that I am a girl and I am very similar to my mother. So this they will be identifying during this time. So they will be enjoying this all activities also while doing the imitation of the caregiver. And one more very important activity during this time is fecal smearing. So during this time, this control over the sphincters are there, and they are getting pleasure out of these activities. So fecal smearing, because they think of their warm feces as gifts and enjoy manipulating and smearing them upon the wall, furniture, floor or themselves. If we keep the child unattended, okay, that also we have to see. If the child is kept unattended, they will be doing this smearing and enjoying by manipulating this fecal matter. And this behavior occurs between the ages of 15 and 18 months, especially if the child is kept unattended. Okay, that is a factor. So that is a fecal smearing. So next we can discuss about what is the process of toilet training. So some guidelines for assessing toilet training readiness we have to understand. How we can know that the child is ready, or when we have to start the toilet training for the child. So it is helping for the child to reach the autonomy, that also is there. So we have to train the child in adequate time, with adequate time. So the first one, the guideline says that first we have to observe the child for physical readiness. So physical readiness, that means voluntary control of anal and urethral sphincters by age of 18 to 24 months. So normally a child will be getting an urethral sphincter and anal sphincter control by 18 to 24 months. So we have to wait till 1 year to 18 to 24 months to start this toilet training. So before that if we are doing, there is no use, because the anal and the urethral sphincter is not under control. So that is the age of the child we have to see. The next one, regular bowel movements. So the child is getting regular bowel movements every day morning or every day evening. The child is passing feces, especially feces. So that we have to monitor. So regular bowel movement of the child should be there. Next, gross motor skills of sitting, walking and squatting. So there should be gross motor abilities for the child to sit in the pot, or the child should be able to walk, and also the child should be in a squatting position. So these all positions, when we are asking the child to sit, the child should be able to sit properly. So that is another physical readiness which we have to observe. So hope you all are clear the guidelines for assessing the readiness of the child. First we have to see the physical readiness. The second one is mental readiness. So mental readiness, the child recognizes urge to defecate or urinate. So when we are taking the baby, the child is coming to the floor, or it's going to the floor, and child is showing some urge to defecate or urine. Some indications will be shown by the child, like they want to pass urine or they want to pass the feces. So that we have to observe, that is a mental readiness. The next is verbal or non-verbal communicative skills to indicate when wet or has urge to defecate or urinate. The child should indicate, I have passed urine or I want to pass urine. So that is maybe verbally or non-verbal communication should be done by the child. So that is a second guideline which we have to observe for the mental readiness of the child. Next is the psychological readiness, that is expresses willingness to please parents. So I want to please my parent. I want to get some reward from the parents. So that feeling should be there for the child. And able to sit on toilet for 5 to 10 minutes. So the child should be patient to sit in the toilet for 5 to 10 minutes. So that is, the child is willing to sit for that particular period. And impatient with soiled or wet diapers. So when the child is passing feces or urine, the child should be impatient. They may not like that condition should be there. So this is the readiness from the part of child. So the first one was physical readiness. Okay. The second is mental readiness. And the third one is psychological readiness. So again, one more person is needed for toilet training. We cannot send the child simply go and pass the urine and come. So, and you are ready, you can go. We cannot say to the baby like that. So the second aspect of toilet training, along with the child, the parental readiness also is important. So parental readiness recognizes child's level of readiness. So my child is now 18 months is over, and she has the voluntary control. She is having gross motor abilities. So that should be understood by the child. So that is we have to feel the level of readiness of the child. The next is willingness to invest the time required for toilet training. If the mother is too busy or she don't want to spend time with the baby, again the problems will be there. So she should be patient enough to spend time with the baby, at least 5 to 10 or 15 minutes with the baby in a toilet. Absence of family stressor chain such as divorce, new sibling, etc. So when the mother is divorced, or if there is a new child already arrived in the family, in that situations the mother will be very busy. Maybe she may be failing in giving time adequately for the first baby. Give clear instruction to encourage elimination. So we have to give proper instruction to the baby how to do the elimination. What are the things which is required? How to give hand washing or hygiene aspects. Everything she should give explanation for the child. Bowel training accomplished before bladder training, and parents should understand that we have to first train for the bowel, then to the bladder, because bowel elimination will be maximum 1, maximum to 2 in a particular child in a day. So comparing to the bladder which is frequently passed, the child will be passing urine. So first we have to start with the bowel training, and slowly we have to progress to the bladder training. So these are the important guidelines which we have to see when we are making the child to be ready for toilet training, or when we are giving training for toilet training. So hope you all are clear with psychosexual development. Sigmund Freud is the theorist who proposed the theory, and anal stage is for the toddlers, and this is the time where they will be identifying their own gender, and some fecal smearing and other some activities will be there. But if we are providing a proper toilet training, that problems can be rectified, and this is the ideal time for starting toilet training, that is 18 to 24 months or 15 to 18 months, because during that time the anal sphincter and the urethral sphincter will be getting matured. And we have to see the physical readiness, mental readiness, and the psychological readiness of the child, and also the parental readiness we have to monitor. Then we have to give the toilet training for the baby. One more thing, that is play. So play, already in infancy we have seen the type of play. Initially the child will be onlooker play. They will be looking at others play. They will be enjoying that. And in the last 6 months of infancy, that is in the second 6 months, we have seen that the child plays by themselves. That is a solitary play. They enjoy playing by themselves, sitting, or they will be creeping, and they will be playing by themselves. And that is a type of two plays in infancy. And in toddler period, the typical play of a toddler is parallel play. So parallel, we know that when we are drawing a parallel lines, they go parallel, means they may not fuse at any point, because in the same distance it's going, maybe looking at the opposite line we will be going, but nowhere it will be fusing. That is the importance, or that is a speciality of a parallel lines. In the same manner, parallel play means toddler inspects the toys, talks to the toys, tests its strength and durability, and they will be imitating others play. So when we are observing, a child will be playing here, and with the similar toys another toddler also will be playing, but no exchange of toys between these two toddlers will be there. No sharing of toys, no give and take, but they will be playing by looking at the opposite person. So if the other person is playing with the car, this particular child also will take the car and they will play, but no exchange of car in between. So that is a imitation will be happening. Play with doll houses, dishes, child sized furnitures, and they will pull toys, finger paints, etc. So these all activities they will be enjoying, and this is about the parallel play. They may not get fused at any point. They will do the imitation of the play by with the opposite member, opposite toddler, but they will not give anything, they will not take anything. So that is the egocentric play or the parallel play. So they will be egocentric. So regarding the toy safety, already in infancy also we have seen regarding the toy safety. Now select toys that suits the skills, abilities and interest of children. So according to the child's ability, according to the child's interest, we have to take the toys. Avoid toys with small parts that may pose a fatal choking hazard. We know that now the child is in anal stage, oral stage is becoming anal stage, but because of curiosity and increased tendency for taste things, they will again keep the objects, because toddler period, oral stage complete eye, but still they will be having some affinity towards the tasting the objects. So they, if we give some small objects, it may get chalked. Check for safety labels. So according to the age of the child, we have to select the toy. Select toys are lightweight. Use toys with smooth rounded ends, because it may cause injury for the child. So this is about the toy safety. So hope you all are clear with what we have discussed. Thank you very much for your kind listening and have a good day.